Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this show, don't worry, I'm not driving, as you can see, I am parked, is my morning coffee show. Yes, and right now it is 12:45 a.m., 12:47 p.m. I gotta shit my teeth. Hold on. There we go. All gone. And highly disgusting. Teeth are very disgusting. Well, no, they're not really disgusting, but it's just basically your bones sticking out of your body. So, interesting enough. And they fall out. Like, if you punch somebody really hard, they fall out. It's such a weird design for the human body. So, give me a second. Alright. Hope you didn't see that disgusting. This is the life of construction workers, alright? We're disgusting people. We're grimy, okay? Get over it. Construction workers are dirty. They're dirty people. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, I want to talk about crony capitalism's biggest bailless. Alright, I'm just looking at that. Sorry. And Freedom Tunes just popped up on my thing. Yeah, today, what do we want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about, like, all this bullshit that's been going on about, like, the stimulus and all this shit and all that. Like, I haven't been really discussing a lot of things recently, and, you know, I had somebody talk his comment about my videos. They were like, you're kind of like Joe Rogan, which, not really. Joe Rogan is more interactive a little bit. He's more ongoing and also consistent with his videos. Other than me, I'm not really that consistent, so it's kind of a funny thing because he's more consistent and he has interesting guests on his show, like Alex Jones and scientists and comedians. But, you know, it's kind of fun like that. I feel like... But I don't. What do I want to talk about? Let's talk about this, like, crisis that's been going on, and in this whole stimulus check, and everybody either hating Trump or loving Trump, and honestly, getting to a boiling point with our society. How I'm feeling right now, I feel gross. Like I'm grossing you out, but I also feel a little bit feel good. I mean, my birthday was pretty good. I mean, it was not great, but it wasn't good. It was okay. I'm not gonna lie. It was okay. It was not a bad birthday, you know, despite it being a long day and all this stuff and all this, you know. I'm honestly at the point now where I'm just like, yeah, there's no more celebrations. I had a big celebration on my 31st because my 30th was a little bit of a, let's say, hit miss. Then I'm hit. So, what do we want to talk about today? Well, let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about... I don't know what to really talk about the economy. I mean, I'm just so fucking over that shit. I do want to talk about things that have just been bothering me recently and just all this other nonsense that's been going on. You know, all this economic bullshit, all this economic trauma and Trump and... Apparently, my mom told me this secret that I've actually met Joe Biden and his wife, which honestly makes me laugh a little bit because I would have known if I got molested. That's a joke. Yeah, I'm doing this in my truck because I don't feel like doing this in my home, so that gives you a little bit more insight of what's going on. No, I'm just kind of done. I'm just kind of done with things going on in my life right about now. Like, granted, I'm not giving up on hope and all this stuff, but I've been trying to do a lot of videos that I want to make. Like, for example, my next part of my dreams about my brother is a little bit more in depth and has a lot, it needs more like, basically it's going to be a little bit more constructed rather than doing this, which honestly is okay for the most part, but it's a little bit more, I have to have some visual explanations of what I'm talking about, because the next part of my dream is a little bit more in depth, especially with like what I've posted up on my other channel, on Jack Halligan's channel, on Instagram. I basically the theme of that, I will say this, I will pronounce it as Silent Hill, not really Silent Hills, but just Silent Hill. Because there's a theme in there, in that dream where I discuss about Silent Hill, so it's a little bit more disturbing. But the thing I'm just so getting annoyed with is just trying to get it done, that's all. I've been recently replaying Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the PlayStation, and just been figuring out why I like that game better. And I forgot how hard those old PlayStation games are. Excuse me. Ooh. And just realizing how difficult they were and how intense they were. So it's been rough, but it's been okay. It's been okay. But I want to make content, and trying to run a family business that you were kind of forced upon, and kind of wanting to be a content creator and trying to do multiple things it's increasingly difficult. But I mean, like, most men are not one things, and they're not really happy with that. But then again, I'm not just one thing. I think that's like the thing with most human beings in this day and age, is that we're not just one particular thing. We're multiples of things, because we are living in a day and age where we don't have multiples of things or the resources of cash. So yeah, but then again, you can make the best of what you got. So remember that, folks. Remember that. One thing want to just say, though, what I've been trying to do with my recent life is just, things have been on hold for a while, and just trying to get some things done and all this stuff. So I just been so warped recently. I've been so tired. I've been awake. I've been trying to get a schedule in for exercise. I've been just trying to I've been trying to just get some, my body composition back on track. I mean, my back is healing up nicely. I don't feel that pain in my leg anymore. So it's all good and grand and dandy, but I need to get back on the swing of things again. And this whole coronavirus nonsense has just been so fucking retarded, and I've just been not thinking correctly. I've been worried. I've been trying to get shit in order. It's like my life has just been so goddamn complicated right about now. Because before, I used to go to a place where I could just work out and work on myself and figure out things. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people talk about going to the gym as a vanity thing. It's not just vanity. That's part of it, but that's not the main thing. It's like, it comes with the territory, because everybody wants to look good, and especially naked, which I always will discuss, because that's one of the things. It's not like, there's looking good, feeling good, wanting to look good naked. That's always the case, but it's also like trying to better yourself, and I feel like I'm just kind of lost myself. I miss going to this place. I mean, because there was a lot, not just the equipment, but just all the stuff that was like, I could just leave that house, like my home, for a moment, not hear about how evil Trump is and get insulted as a Republican, or male for that matter, because your mom is a feminist. Yeah, my mom is a uber feminist, and I hate feminism. Not to say that I hate all feminism of all waves of it. Like, first and second wave, I'm okay with, but something happened with the second wave that introduced the third wave. Which, honestly, like, we need I think women need a revolution against their own, not their own ideology, but they need to reassess it, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not trying to say that, take away the votes and put women back in the kitchen. I'm saying is that we need men to be men again, and just tell women to shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have an abortion. I'm not saying you should have, take away all your rights and freedoms. It's the fact that stop taking away mine because you have daddy issues or some shit like that, which most of these feminists are. Like, if you look at modern, like, older feminists, they kind of are what the descriptions of witches are, which honestly, like, and here's the thing, if you're 18 to 20, like, if you're like a young person, like, say 18 to, like, say 20, 24, 25, be a feminist. I don't care. Like, fine. Support that ideology. Like, most men should be men. Like, most men should be, live dangerously around that age too. But, like, when you're a feminist in your 60s, it's not, it's like, what is the point? Like, what is the point? Like, I don't understand that. Like, yeah, it's bright out here. God damn it, I'm pulling my glasses. When you reach a certain, like, age, it's like, you should just stop with your ideology. It's like, okay. And this is, like, one of my things, too, like, about male feminists, and that's another thing too, male feminists. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing at all, because women should be feminists. Men should support women in their decisions, but to be called a male, to be a feminist, a male feminist, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. And most women don't see the dangers of that too, which honestly, I honestly, like, why do you think they're doing it? Why do you think they're like, why do you think they're sneaking? And I know my glasses are absolutely crooked. Then again, they're kind of broken, and one side doesn't have the nose guard thing, so it's like, ugh. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I do give a shit, but I don't I'm not worried about it right now. But I don't know. I could be talking about feminists, but today it's just a random rant kind of day. So you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. And again, I'm not sorry, but I am a little upset at myself for not getting these videos out on time, like not making content every day, because there's so much going on. I mean, besides like Joe Biden and all his nonsense and the whole coronavirus thing and the fear-mongering that the media is pushing out, it's getting to the point. And again, this video is not supposed to tell you about the coronavirus and what you should do, and, drinking apple juice upside down will cure your corona. No, I'm just... Sorry, I had a silent burp there. A little gassy right now. I'm sorry. But it's just so much going on right now. It's so much. It's so irritating what's going on recently. I mean, it's one of those things that I'm just tired of hearing about, and I'm scared of this, because it's like, it's not because of the virus. I mean, we can cure a virus with the amount of research. We can make a vaccine. We can do all that. But the thing that's scaring me is that people are pushing this vaccine, and I feel like this is just another thing to get people to be vaccinated so they can shove. And granted, I'm not like, there's people out there who understand vaccines and stuff like that, and give me a second. Who understand vaccines and understand all this other stuff that's going on recently. I mean, and this is the thing, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I think vaccines are good to help people, but it's when it comes to the point of, pushing too many vaccines. It's like, oh, you need a vaccine for this, you need a vaccine for that. And then you've like, we ask, what's in a vaccine? Like, what's in these vaccines? Why are these materials in the vaccines? And it's like, this is the big question. Why are people questioning the vaccine thing? Like, why, why are people like coming out and be like, no, what's in these vaccines? I'm not going to vaccinate my child. And granted, I'm not, again, this is not me sounding like, I am going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's this whole weird analogy thing where it's like, not an analogy, it's this whole weird, thing that nobody's questioning. Why are people questioning vaccines? Should we be questioning what's in our vaccines? Yes, you should. And you should also be questioning what's in your food, your water, your drinks, your everyday objects, the things you consume every day. You should question what's in your food products. You know what I mean? You should question the things that you're taking into your body. Like smoking. Like, yes, everybody knows there's tar, there's weird chemicals in cigarettes. Yet nobody wants to question, nobody wants to question that. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. And and then you got, I got nose problems going on. I want to pick my nose. Right in front of you, but I can't. Which is funny, because if I do this, it looks like I'm picking my nose, but I'm not. I'm just look like I'm ready to do a snot rocket. Oh. Yeah, I mean, this whole vaccination thing, this whole coronavirus is causing more of a problem with, like, what's been going on in our society recently. I mean, for example, the whole, like, you've seen a couple of videos that I shot, right, of everybody waiting outside of the line for, Sam's Club, and then now it's like everybody else is doing it, and we accept this as the new norm. I don't accept this as the new norm. I accept this as the new dystopia that's coming into our lives. Granted, like, looks like I'm being another Razor Fist here, but I gotta get it in black and white and make 20 references to how Hideo Kojima sucks, how Fallout sucks, and how this is bad, and talking about the Democrats and blah 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 blah. And I don't talk that fast. And by the way, if you want to see Razor Fist do his shit, then go watch Razor Fist. I'm just a guy on the internet ranting to his camera, wanting to make comments, videos, and sketches and stuff like that, but don't have the time to edit because I'm doing other things too. So I'm gonna do that for now. I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself in the camera, so and you want to make videos. I tried doing a Let's Play of Resident Evil 3, which I'm thinking about just like taking it down because I want to make a review of this, of the original game and the new game. And yeah, I have to agree with Critical Nobody on this. The original games did so much better than like the newer games because the newer games graphically look great. The gameplay is amazing. The character design, the way the characters are presented are good, but there are some things the originals did better. And especially when it comes to like the thickness of the games, like when you got a PlayStation game back in when you got a game back in like say the early like in the 90s, you got a game. You got like a thick full price games. And no, I'm not gonna do the argument of, well, they were working, games are expensive nowadays to make and all this stuff and blah 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 blah, this and that and this. It's like, no, I do feel like that's like the problem I see with like most modern video games nowadays. It's the fact that you don't get the amount of content. And I feel like we've been pushing for like, oh, the graphics. Here's so many people talk about graphics so much. And it's like, yo, back in my day, and I still appreciate those 16-bit graphics, those 8-bit graphics, those 32-bit graphics. Because there's an art to those pixelated art and the polygons too. Like, a lot of people make jokes about, Lara Croft's boobs being very pointy, but I think they've, like, I vaguely remember, like, in some other games, like, her boobs don't become as pointy, but they do kind of look more smoothed out. Like, I don't get that joke. Like, have you guys played the other Lara Croft games? The reason I love gaming, and especially if you look at the game series like Resident Evil for the PlayStation, and I know Resident Evil 3 was supposed to be a spin-off game, but I think it fits perfectly within that trilogy of PlayStation games because you have Resident Evil 1 starting out as a puzzle game, you working with the limitations they had, and then Resident Evil 2 upgrading those limitations, and Resident Evil 3 taking it to the end zone. But I don't know, I feel like I'm going off topic with this stuff, and I'm just getting stuff off my chest that I want to talk about, just doing a daily vlog for you so you don't freak out and, eat your neighbor or something like that. I don't know, eat your neighbor. But I do want to do other reviews, and I've been trying to get back into storytelling again. I want to get PA Wasteland up and going again. I will not discuss the details of that, but only the title of it. So yeah, I do want to do some stories that I'm probably not going to put it under a different name. So don't look for that, or maybe, I don't know. I have so many weird ideas in my head that I want to just get them out, but I don't feel like they're appropriate or they're not appropriate, It's a little weird right now with me because I'm living at home. I moved back home again. I don't have that personal space. My bed is now a box. Well, not a box, but it's just like whoever designs beds to be like, oh, it's a cabin bed. Oh, so it could be like a mattress and all this stuff and live, love, and life. Fucking Karens, get away from me. But it's weird. It's just, we're living in weird times nowadays, and honestly, it's like I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm gonna put clown makeup on and start rioting in the streets a little bit, which is happening in New York City, by the way, which is a scary thought to think of like society. This is the start of society breaking down. You got people releasing people out of prison, but they're arresting people for not following these like guidelines and rules, or if you are in the South, getting arrested for wearing a mask indoors, but maybe they're just doing that for black people only, so they have a reason. I don't know. I'm so tired of everything going on recently, and it's like, yo, like, I feel like this is like how Rome fell, the member bearers, and I feel like we're pumping nostalgia out by the moment, and it's like, entertainment now is just kind of propagandized. It's not telling us stories about heroes and triumph. I mean, granted, it's just so weird nowadays. I mean, I should be talking on one specific thing, but it's like, no, I'm not going to talk about one specific thing. There's so many things to talk about. And I mean, we got, these cell phone towers everywhere, and like, you can't question 5Gs, don't question that. All that's silly and stupid. It's like, so is Sammy Davis Jr. being a Satan worshiper. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. But then again, if you watch a documentary called Out of the Shadows, I mean, Hollywood has been putting a lot of like satanic messaging in their like stuff. Satanic stuff or cultist stuff, and honestly, like, or like how the CIA is controlling us through like manipulation like this and propaganda, which yes, has happened. Back in World War II, they were pushing that on us during that time because they were trying to justify the taxes, trying to tell people to recycle aluminum, trying to get people recruited into the army. I mean, there's a Chuck Jones recruitment video cartoon where he's talking about choice not chance, about going into the army and choosing about, the different the different things you could do in the army and stuff like that. Which nobody wants to question if we're still doing that today. It's like, oh, they did that back in the day. They did that back in the day. It's like, we're still doing it nowadays. I mean, we're still discriminating people, but we're getting close to the Gallicos levels of discrimination where it's no longer about skin color or race or ethnicity. It's about, they're getting it down to a science where they're going to say, well, oh, he has this and this and this. No, we're not going to use you. We need the genetically superior race with no flaws. It's like, which honestly, that's why I'm kind of like, this whole thing about the whole, supremacy ideology is so stupid to me, because it's like, first of all, have you not seen Star Trek where, Khan, if you don't know which episode I'm talking about, I'm talking about Space Seed, where you get your first introduction to Khan, the same guy with the same title from Wrath of Khan. So Wrath of Khan, like, basically, if you didn't get the idea, back in 99, well, in that Star Trek universe, the main universe, not the Calvin universe, but the main universe, the real one, the good one, basically in the 1990s, and especially in 1993, they made eugenics clones, which basically there's the clone of just a carbon copy of yourself that has all the flaws but also breaks down and dies. But also there's the eugenic clones, which are basically, they take the best DNA of, like, say, selective individuals and put them into one human being, one superhuman being. And that was Khan. And you can say he is a genetic supremacist right there. He is like the perfect, like, organism. Well, that and the xenomorphs, but he's better, stronger, faster, smarter, but he has this ego where he can destroy you. Like, he doesn't care. It's like, oh, you're a lesser human being. And I did one of those. But that's the scary shit right there. Nobody wants to discuss that part. Like, I don't know. I'm just so fucking wrapped up in this fucking situation right about now. It's like, I want to make videos. And is that my mom? Yeah, it looks like it is. Yeah, it looks like it's her. Yeah, sitting in the car, talking on my phone. She doesn't understand what I'm doing. She never watches my shit, so I can say some shit about my mom and she won't watch it. Which pisses me off, too, because she'll spend most of her day watching CNN, MSNBC. Oh, not really CNN anymore, which makes me laugh, because it's like, they don't talk about anything else. It's like, so does MSNBC. So, yeah, MSNBC or ABC. Nobody gets this. Like, most of the networks are now bought out. Like, most of the mainstream media is so leftist nowadays. It honestly makes me sick to my stomach. Like, because back in the day, you had, like, guys like John Wayne, like, I'm trying to think who else. There was a lot of Republicans back in the media, but nowadays they, like, filter that out, and, like, now you have this, like, these stories that you don't have anything interesting anymore. You really don't have anything more interesting anymore. And people have to hide their, political views nowadays because everybody who's on the left. And don't argue, don't argue with me about this or say shit about this, because it's true. Most people have to hide their, like, political identities nowadays. It's like, back in the day, if you were gay, you had to keep that a secret. If you were, like, this, or this. You had to keep it a secret. Shh, you can't talk about that. Shh, that's taboo, you know. But nowadays, you know, everybody knows you're gay. Yay, let's celebrate. But if you're like the wrong political thinking points, if you have the wrong ideology, heathen, burn you at the stakes. Oh, we're nothing like them, but we have to get rid of it because you caused all this, and we're just like them. We have to stop them. It's like, why? Why do we have to stop the Democrats, or excuse me, the Republicans from speaking, or people speaking, you know, against the ideas that you have? It's like, this is why I left school. Like, you know, and they want their money too, which honestly, I'm like, no, I'm refusing to pay money towards your fucking indoctrination bullshit ideology. No, I'm sorry, but most of it was indoctrination. I mean, I could go and I could tell you the story of how I left Temple and how I was just like displeased with like what they were teaching me, because they weren't teaching me about film and media arts. No, which I've learned more about that on YouTube than I had 3 years at fucking Temple University. Or, you know, well, I would say some shit about Landmark and Monco, but those two colleges are actually really good. Those were some decent colleges. And especially Monco, which is a community college. But nowadays, college has become this like, oh, you need to go to college. And, you know, I hear all these people bitching, like, and that's another thing I want to talk about real quick. And I know I'm going off a rant here, but I'm going to finish my last segment up. Temple sucks. Monco and Landmark were good. If you need to go to college, go to college. If you don't need to go to college for what you want, don't go to college. I mean, I feel like going to art school, you could learn a little bit more, but there is this, like, and I have talked to people who went to, like, legit art schools. Like, I have one friend who went to RISD, and he was talking about how, like, the teacher was, you know, expressing that you need, you know, expressing her art about Trump, and it was, like, nothing but Trump bashing. Like, where are you talking? Why aren't you talking about, you know, art, you know, pastels, oils, stuff like that? But no, most of them must be about trashing Trump, and my art represents trashing Trump, and blah, blah, blah. Look, Trump's not an artist type. He's not the art type, but he respects the arts. If you don't believe, like, I mean, seriously, I mean, Hollywood did create Trump in a sense. I mean, this guy was your poster boy until he said, fuck you, I'm going against you. I mean, I don't even hate Trump. That's the strange part. I support our president, but if I say that, I'm a racist, I'm a homophobe, I'm a xenophobe, I don't support America, I support fascism, I do this. It's, oh, I'm a bad guy? And then now all of a sudden your views are going to change on me. Like, oh, where was this discrimination thing? Now you're doing this. I had my uncle once tell me, like, I was posting up some Trump stuff, and, like, my uncle, like, people, like, he just was telling me, like, or better yet, stuff that's, like, you know, shouldn't be, like, scaremongering, or something that's not scary, that should be just, you know, people should, you know, I took photos of my guns. That's it. Like, or me posing with the gun, doing the Terminator pose, or you know, taking a picture of a pistol. And my uncle was like, oh, don't post that, people. You won't get a job, and blah, blah, blah. You have to hide yourself and just submit and conform. It's like, I'm straight up turning into the fucking Joker here for a moment from Dark Knight Returns. You know, post a picture about how gay you are, and you've made a picture of Trump being murdered alive by dogs using your tampon blood, and nobody bats an eye. You post a picture about a gun doing nothing lying on a table, and everybody loses their minds. It's like that. It's like, you know, I'm the crazy one. No, you've all fucking decided this was the new norm. And I say, fuck the norm. I'm sorry, but I'm not a conformist like you want me to. All right? And you know what? What's wrong with supporting this president? You know, I didn't hate Barack Obama until I figured out he was a piece of shit. You know, oh, well, you don't like him because he's black. No, I don't like him because he had some terrible ideas, and he decided to bomb everybody. You know, and you overlook everything that a president does because you want your side to win. And that is the scary part. This whole mentality of our side needs to win on both sides. On both sides. And look, I'm not a blind follower to Trump and, you know, follow all the propaganda. No. Half the time I think we need some conservative views in this country. We need some conservative lessons. Yes, we need the liberal lessons too. We also need the conservative lessons to balance us out as a fucking nation. You know, if you got to this point at the 30-minute mark, congratulations, you got past all the bullshit. But it's gotten to that point where it's just like, why the fuck then are we just talking about, why aren't we discussing things like normal civilized people? Like, oh, your guns. And it's like, if you talk about like things that conservatives hold dear to them, like religion, freedom of speech, owning property, about wealth, guns, which honestly, that's like, when I compared conservatives to liberals, you know, or, you know, Republicans to Democrats, it's usually guns and marijuana. Why not both? That's why I love the Libertarian Party, because they're like, why can't they just coexist in the same space and time? Because the conservatives and their piss poor war on drugs, yes, even I, as somebody who's, you know, is registered as Republican, sees that as one of the dumbest fucking things ever. It didn't fucking work, and you know, we have more drug problems in this country with the opioids, which by the way is not coming from just South America, but from those corporate motherfuckers at like, who are making, you know, these opioids for your back problem, and the doctors subscribing it because they want a new Mercedes. I can go in a whole list of things that's wrong with the medical profession, but then again, I'm not a professional medical doctor. And most of the stuff I may end up talking about maybe organ harvesting, but I'm going to keep that a little secret of mine. Or maybe I'll talk about another video where I'm just going off on a rant that's not proving anything or proving anything wrong. So, or liberals, when it comes to like, you know, the whole gun ban thing. Yeah, that works. That fucking works. Yeah, we still got killings in this country. We still got people shooting each other, yet killings still happen. Criminals still break the law. Bad things still happen. Banning things is not gonna make it go away, folks. God damn it. I shouldn't have been talking for 30 minutes. This is gonna get edited big time on fucking Instagram, because Instagram decided 10 minutes is enough on the phone. But you can go on your computer and download 60 minutes on your fucking phone, which makes no goddamn logical sense. I don't care. I do care, but I don't care in the sense of it not bothering my rest of the day. So, yeah. And I'm turning into Razor Fist here. Again, need to be black and white and need to have prettier eyes. If you've ever seen Razor Fist without his glasses, it's like looking at Pat Buchanan's face. It's very weird looking. I'm gonna bring in my bag. All right, but anyhow, I just find this whole thing just maddening, and I've been doing this for 30 minutes now, talking about things that try to change or not change, or you know, it's just so weird nowadays. And yeah, I haven't done a morning coffee with James in a while, so I need to start doing more of these and make them 10 minutes long. On that note, I will say this. I will finish up with a good ending segment, because I'm going to make this last video 5 minutes for those people on Instagram. I'm just so done with this whole quarantine shit. It needs to end. It needs to end now, because it's like, I want to get back to my normal life. But then again, I will say this, the positive notes of this quarantine, which sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. There's no bright side to this. It sucks, but there is some silver linings in it, which is not the bright side, but a minor silver lining in it. And that is, it's kind of brought us together a little bit, and kind of made us rethink our lives, like, and made us appreciate the good things we've had. You know, this is a taste of what socialism is. Like, and this is why I'm not voting for Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden, who is a fucking pedophile. Nor am I not voting for the Libertarian Party, because apparently from what I've heard, there's no candidate. Or then maybe that's just a fucking lie that I get told every fucking time. If there's anybody from the Libertarian Party, please tell me if there's a candidate, because I would vote for him over Trump. But then again, I'm not going to vote for a Libertarian Party. I'm voting for Trump because I want to. That's why I want to. And he's been doing a good job. He's been doing a majorly good job. He's been fighting these fights and clearing out the shit we need. I mean, we've been pandering to fucking China, and I'm talking as an entertainer too, pandering to China so much that we've forgotten what it means to be an American anymore. I mean, I love this country. We're ridiculous. We're loud. We're obnoxious, but I'm proud of that. We're also the ones to help out when things go bad. We're also the ones that step in when things are needed. Yes, you can see us as bad guys. Oh, how cute! That one kid has a mohawk on his helmet. He's ready for the apocalypse. And also, that girl has a kitty cat ears on her head. Which, you know what? That's another weird thing about like feminism that makes me laugh. It's like we're still, hey. We're still doing gender assignment with products. And I don't mind it. Like, because, like, girls want to be girls. Girls should represent who they are. So do boys. Let them be boys, On that note, I'm going to finish it up here because I've gone a little too far on my daily rant video for Instagram, which should have been 10 minutes. But, again, it's like nutting. I have to wait 7 days before I nut. So, too much information. I know. But then again, there's been that whole thing about the whole no nut November, no fat, fasting, and it's just like, we have to have a discussion about that. We've gotten to this day and age where we have to discuss about no fapping, but I'm grossing so many people. I can tell, because you're all kind of like going, ew, I don't want to think about that. I don't care. I do care, because it's like, that's a thing that I think people need to discuss too, is that our addiction things. I mean, not just smoking and drinking, but the things that we, our internet use, our addiction to our phones, which, try going without your phone for a couple of days. It's actually pretty interesting. Or not, try doing that. I don't know. But I'm finishing up right here, because the last things I want to say is that just stay safe, folks. Wash your hands. Practice good hygiene like always before all this shit happens. And for those who didn't, this is on you now, because you should have been washing your hands, wiping your ass, cleaning yourself up, and also stop panic buying, okay? If you really have to, and I mean this too, if this whole thing dies down, have some canned goods laying around before shit goes bad. We never think about this because we never think about catastrophes. I mean, I started reading prepper books way before all this, like, corona shit. And yes, watching InfoWars definitely did help that. But then again, that's a discussion for a different day, and why I went down that rabbit hole. Until the next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, live it, bye-bye, and remember to stay safe, okay? I'll see you in the next morning.